Okay guys, we got a little update here. I was able to get my intake manifold back on. As you can see, I got the fuel injectors on, got the fuel rail back on, got this completely cleaned up, painted up. It's clean. The actual ports inside these heads actually had dirt in them. From my last video, you can see how dirty that the intake manifold was. So that guy was a quack for putting that back on the way it was. So, but anyway, so I got that back on. I haven't put the upper intake manifold on because I still need to clean that and paint that. I also got my alternator bracket cleaned up, painted, got my alternator back in, got my serpentine belt on here. It was actually a 85.5 is what the measurement was on it, because I got rid of the smog. And there's a little indicator here, and it's right in the middle. It's got good tension, so I'm happy with that. I got my radiator in, which I was real kind of curious to see if it was going to fit. It's a two-core radiator. It's a Champion radiator, and I got a Spall electric fan on it. So, and I also got the fan shroud. So you can see down there, barely. I've got just about a ½ inch clearance. I wanted a little bit more, but you know what? It's going to have to do. I did have to grind off the shaft of the water pump. I took just over 1/8 of an inch off that, but I think that's going to be more than enough clearance. You can see in there, it's not going to hit the fan. The engine's not going to move that much, so it should be good. So this all fit in. I'm real happy about that. I got it covered up there. Here's the for the fan here. I got the relay kit, which is up there. That's going to actually be bolted on underneath the battery tray, so that'll be all hooked up. I got this temperature sensor for the fan here that just screwed right into my thermostat housing. There's another one that actually goes here, and this black thing right here was right here, and then right there, that hole, that's where the temperature sensor for the computer goes. Well, I'm going to bypass that. I found a guy online that actually makes an adapter for it that'll screw in here, which is a ½ inch, and then it'll actually fit in the sensor, which is right here. So this sensor, I'm actually going to move from about here, will actually come up, well, oh, it was about here. It's going to come up to right here. So I was able to get rid of that tube is the main idea here. And then what I'm going to do is, you got your water pump nipples here. So one's going to come up here and go here. The other one will come up and go here. I'm just going to do that for now until I get the AC unit put in. Once I get the AC unit put in, I'll have a line coming off here, going up to where that hole is, because that's where the plate's going to go for the air conditioner. So I'll have a line going in there, and then another one coming out. It'll come up and come right back in here. So you know, it's moving along. This was a big concern, this radiator and everything. Now that I got that in, I'll be able to get my drive shaft fitted, so I'm not going to have to move the engine, which I really wasn't going to be able to do anyways because of my bracket pinion that's down there. I don't have enough room to actually push my engine back anymore. So it's kind of moving along. Here's what you could do with these radiator hoses. This top one here is actually out of a 86 to, I believe, 92 Bronco 2, and this is actually the lower hose for that make and model of vehicle. But it works really good here. I had to trim it up, but it's you know, it fits on there, comes up, sticks up a little bit, but that's okay. I closed the hood. There's not going to be any clearance issues. It's not hitting here. It's got this to protect it on this. You know, and there's just a little bit of gap there, so I'm not too worried about that. This is the Fox body upper hose that came out of the donor car that I did have. Now this one here, you could probably actually use it if you wanted to, because it's very similar to this one. You would just have to cut it probably like at about here, and then it would go down, but it's basically got about the same bend, you can see, as that. But you know, I obviously wasn't going to use the old hose, and why buy all that hose, you know, and cut it off. So I was able to use that one. And the bottom hose, which is right down there, you can't really see, I used off a 70 Mustang for the 302 or 5.0, whatever you want to classify it. And I did have to do some trimming on that. It did not come with a spring, but I was able to take the spring out of the Fox body lower radiator hose. So I took the spring out of there and then I put it into that hose there, so I don't have to really worry about any collapsing, you know. So there we are. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Bye bye.